Okay, Donald Trump has just nominated a new attorney general, and well, that means that Matthew Whitaker, once the new guy is confirmed, won't be acting attorney general anymore, and he was put in that position in an unconstitutional and illegal way. So that seems like good news. Hold. Once I tell you why he was picked, William Barr, that's the new guy who was named. You're going to go, of course, okay? So, who's William Barr, the new guy that was appointed? Well, he's a member of the establishment, actually. He works at Kirkland Ellis, which is a very establishment law firm in Washington. And get a load of this. He was already Attorney General back in 91 to 93 for George H.W. Bush, who just passed away. So you think, okay, well, I mean, George H.W. Bush was a member of the establishment and beloved by Washington, D.C. In this case, normally the establishment's a bad thing, but in this case, the establishment is trying to rein Donald Trump in and is more likely to act within the law outside, as opposed to the thugs that Trump hires for loyalty reasons, right? So you could argue that that's good news. You're not going to get a progressive pick from Donald Trump for Attorney General, of course, right? And you're not going to get one that you're going to like. That's not the point. The point is, are you going to find an Attorney General that is will follow the law or will do whatever Trump wants? So far it appears to be good news, but hold, because it's going to get worse, of course, okay? So, Lindsey Graham really likes him. John Cornyn really likes him. These are establishment Republican senators. So you're thinking, hey, maybe he'll follow the law. So let's go over William Barr's record. Let's go over the bad news first before we get to the terrible news. So he recently represented Caterpillar as their corporate attorney. What did they do? They ripped off taxpayers to the tune of billions of dollars. The IRS raided their offices. Is trying to get $2.3 billion from them for all the things that they ripped us off for. And of course, William Barr was there to step up to defend the people who cheated on their taxes because they're a giant corporation. But as a lawyer, that's partly his job. Okay. Then you look back at his record at George H.W. Bush years, and he thought that we didn't lock up enough criminals. So is he going to be for criminal justice reform? Absolutely not. His record is, even though we have broken all records on the planet for incarceration per capita, he thinks we haven't done enough. We should lock up even more people, okay? All right, so that's your standard terrible conservative opinions that he has. Well, what about the most important thing? The Attorney General would be in charge of the Mueller probe and potential collusion with Russia, etc. So what's his views on that? Well, here we go to the really bad news. By the way, guys, support all of our shows. We're the home of progressives. tyt.com/join. Actually, this is a perfect time because there's a week free trial. We're going to give you even more details on the May show tonight. You know the May show is 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, right? Check it out on tyt.com. And the free trial is at tyt.com/holiday, okay? So we'll put the links down below. So now here comes the really bad parts. So he has said publicly, James Comey, of course, should have been fired. What do you mean? Sally Yates, who was part of the Justice Department, who was trying to follow the law, should have been fired. Should have been fired. Trump's doing the right thing. Gee, I wonder why Trump picked him. It gets worse. Okay? He has criticized Mueller publicly for hiring too many Democrats. Oh, Jesus Christ. We have no idea who's, the political affiliations of the people on the Mueller team. But Donald Trump has tweeted over and over again, it's 13 angry Democrats. No, way more likely, based on their records in the past, they are mostly Republicans, right? And Mueller's a Republican. So for this guy to go, oh, there's too many Democrats, Trump's like, one of the only guys in the country who agrees with me on this thing that I actually made up. Okay, so to be fair to William Barr, he claims that some of them have contributed to Democratic politicians. I don't know which ones he's referring to, but if he can show that, yeah, but I can show a lot more of those guys that probably donated to Republican politicians. Anyway, but it's not as bad as Donald Trump just lying and pretending that all 13 are Democrats, let alone angry Democrats. But I haven't gotten to the worst part, and here it is. So what is William Barr famous for? So what did he do when he was had his most prominent role, which was Attorney General before, under George H.W. Bush? He was famous for pardoning government officials charged with criminal actions. I told you, say it with me. Of course, of course. He's famous for pardoning people. Get a load of this. George H.W. Bush asked him, what do you think we should do with the people involved in the Iran-Contra affair? Wink. Now, he died recently, and if you saw my video about him, I think George H.W. Bush had a really interesting mixed record, and I gave him credit for a lot of things. Some progressives got mad at me, but it's true, right? So I'm not at all biased against George H.W. Bush. In fact, back in the day when I was a Republican, I voted for him, okay? But did he do Iran-Contra? Yeah, he definitely did Iran-Contra. So was he going to pardon people, other people that did Iran-Contra? Of course he was, right? But William Barr walks into George H.W. Bush's office, according to even what Barr says, and says, should we pardon Caspar Weinberger, who was the defense secretary under Reagan? So they did Iran-Contra under Reagan when H.W. Bush was Reagan's vice president, and Weinberger was his defense secretary. Barr walks in and goes, not only should we pardon Weinberger, we should pardon 5 other people. We're not pardoning enough people. So, get a load of 2 things there. One is, we should put more criminals behind bars, arrest everybody, except corrupt government officials who break laws. The elite should get away with everything. The rest of you should go to prison. That's what William Barr is famous for. But more importantly, in this context, does he believe in pardoning people and letting them get away with crimes if they work in the government? Who could that be? Who could that be? And yes, that is literally what he's most famous for. So you know what, in a sense, well played, Donald Trump. You found the one guy in the establishment who's for pardons and who is for the same kind of criminality that you are. So will he actually go along with Trump's pardons or firing Mueller, etc.? Only time will tell. But it appears the Republican senators are thrilled with him and are happy to put him in as Attorney General as soon as possible. So we'll find out when the rubber hits the road. But if history is any reflection of what he's going to do, he will probably go along with Trump. So when you look for corruption, turns out you can find it. How is that for funny? Trump said he believes in the rule of law, and that that he would bring that kind of law and order back to the country, and that he would drain the swamp. In reality, of course, he went out of his way to find the most corrupt people who, for the elites, do not believe in the rule of law. And that appears to be William Barr. There you go.